Hey, do you want to learn Twitter for actors? You need to stop. Turn up your speakers right now, okay? Because what I'm about to show you is everything you need to know about Twitter for actors. Now, this is going to be an extremely long webinar. As a matter of fact, it is over an hour long. So what I want you to do is to share this right now, okay? Share it on your timeline so you can easily go back to it if you misplaced it, or if you have to pause it, or if your computer crashed, or whatever it might be. I want you to share this right now so you can always go back, okay? This is Thomas Wooldridge back at you again with another webinar. I'd like to thank everybody for joining. I got a lot of stuff, so I'm just going to go ahead and get down to the materials. This webinar, we're going to talk about Twitter domination for actors, singers, and entertainers. We're going to take a real deep dive on why you should use Twitter, how to target your perfect audience on Twitter, how to target key decision makers like casting directors, talent agents, and producers. We're going to go take a real deep dive into that, and also going to start off by discussing why you need to have Twitter. Okay, why Twitter? Again, Twitter is a big player. It has over 320 million active monthly users. Twitter has 1 billion unique visits each month. 79% of Twitter users are outside the United States, surprisingly. Twitter is available in 35 different languages. 80% of those 320 monthly active Twitter users use apps via the mobile. Okay, so as you can see, it is a clear, great social media platform that does very well. It's integrated with television or the new media. Okay, I'm about to show you what I mean on these next slides. So in the beginning, Twitter is fairly new, like most of the major social media platforms. Back in 2010, they had a meager, 30 million users. So now go shoot back all the way up into 2015. As you can see, the growth. It's got kind of steady last year, but as more and more integration happens within the media, you're going to see a much higher demand for people to get on Twitter, because the way they actively participate people. So you can see why it's crucial to have them inside. See, this little quick graph will show you how the tremendous growth of Twitter has become. As you can see, the sharp increase and rise, and it kind of got steady last year, but it will continue to spike because of the way media or businesses have been using Twitter. And as you'll see that mobile phones, it gets more and more integrated because of the cheaper bandwidth. You'll see more active users on Twitter. It's just because the phones have got much better, the data plans have got much cheaper, and all that means more interaction with the consumers. And many of the media outlets and small businesses and commercials and anything within the industry had found that integrating Twitter with commercials or TV shows has a tremendous growth opportunity within the network shows in itself, and I'll show you. Okay, as you can see, here's an article that was created by Twitter, and they talked about film talent active on Twitter boosts overall conversation for movies. You see, film talent, both actors and directors, have long turned to Twitter during their film promotions to engage with fans. They bring attention to the movies, conversations about the film, and they're constantly on Twitter, with over 165 million tweets about movies sent in just 2015 alone. Today, there's going to be some more graphs that they're showing that has the overall boost upon Twitter. Here's an article by Twitter, and it talks about how film has been boosted overall because of the use of Twitter. What studios have found out that when actors and directors and many of the show people that produce the movie, when they use Twitter and integrate it within their film promotions and start engaging with the fans, they just saw a huge boost in the number of views and the number of conversations. It's because it allows fans and guests and people that are interested to become more engaging with the promotions. And with this next slide, you can see the difference. Okay, when a trailer, every Tuesday or on a certain day, I believe it's like every Tuesday, there's a new movie trailer that comes out. And you can see right here in this graph, it says without active talent that's on Twitter. And then the dark blue is with active talent. And you can see the difference. Here's a trailer release that's not actively talked about in Twitter. And then here's a trailer release that's actively talked about on Twitter with active users, active social media actors that are posting tweets. And you see a 675% growth in spike. It's a huge difference. Huge difference in the conversations. Now, post-trailer, meaning before conversations before the trailer went out, it's not really that much of a difference. Not really. It's pretty much the same. Pre-premiere means before the opening date in the studio releasing the movies. Yes, there is a big spike, but overall not as significant. Now, here's the big thing we're happening. The premiere, opening day, 250% more conversations, more tweets about the movie happens when you have active Twitter account users. Typically, these are the A-list celebrities. They're posting the tweets. Post-premiere, the day after, or the day after of the premiere of the movie, it rises again. Obviously, this makes sense because after the show, people are going to post how they felt about the movie, good or bad. It doesn't matter. If people was passionate and they enjoyed it, they're going to tweet about it. And as they tweet about it after the show, giving their opinion, you can see the sharp increase. Okay, so with that graph, it has a big impact on why studio execs want to integrate Twitter within their marketing campaigns. Now, here's an example of Ryan Reynolds that posts a tweet. He's talking about the new Spider-Man movie. This is just still recent. It's basically still kind of, I believe it's still in the pre-production. He basically posted a little video tweet, and you can't hardly see it right here, but it's been retweeted and liked over 10,000 times. Okay, so 10,000 retweets, and every time you retweet, the people that are following the users that retweet get to see that, and you can see the viral effect that it will have. Here is another thing that I posted a screenshot of my Comcast. I have the X1 box, the Comcast X1 DVR box. And one thing I noticed while I was in the channel guide is, boom, I see something about trending now. It's trending now. They integrated the television, my Comcast X1 box. They integrated Twitter to show that it's trending. So obviously people's going to go get on their phones and go to Twitter and check out what the conversation's about. Only thing is missing is like a hashtag or something like that. Now, here is an interesting statistic of the top, Nielsen Twitter TV rankings. We all know what Nielsen TV rankings are. So now they have developed a way to check out the stats on Twitter itself. So last year during September time, as you can see, the most talked about thing on Twitter was the CNN Republican debate. They had an audience of 9 million people just on Twitter alone. And out of that, 2 million, almost 2.5 million tweets were talked about just on the Republican debate. Now here's another one: the Emmy Awards. It's just another television and Hollywood's award show. 8.5 million people was in the audience. Over 1 million tweets was talking about it. Here is a current show, Dancing with the Stars. 2.2 million, almost 2.3 million audience. 191,000 tweets alone. Okay, so you think about it. Before there was Twitter, well, there's still Twitter. There was Twitter, has been significant a while, but before Twitter, really, we used DVR. We recorded like season pass with our TiVo and things of that, and we wanted to watch TV at our own times. Now, what happened is because social media, Twitter, Facebook has been integrated so much, and these shows have become so popular that very popular shows, you cannot record and watch it later without getting spoiled, unless you totally disconnected yourself from social media. The days of you watching a show or waiting 2 weeks later and watching it and without getting spoiled on social media is almost impossible. So this in itself is making you almost watch these shows live. And watching shows as live is much more beneficial to the television stations because why? Because you're watching the ads, you're watching the commercials. Those are the bread and butter of the network television shows. That's how they make their money. Now, granted, recording and watching it on your DVR, hey, that's a really good convenience for you. But to the network television shows, they're not making as much money into it. Sure, the new DVRs, they kind of like lock down. They might say something like fast forward is being disabled or the 30-second skip is disabled. But obviously, there's still a lot of workarounds and hacks that people do to bypass that because no one wants to see the commercials. Everybody just wants to DVR it and watch it at their own convenience. But if you're on social media and there's a popular TV shows, you gotta literally disconnect yourself so you don't get spoiled. All right, especially like reality shows or popular shows like The Walking Dead. All those you gotta want to see it online. Well, I'm sorry, not online, but live. Okay, so you don't get a spoiler alert. It's gotten so bad. I wouldn't say really bad, but it's just a change of times that a popular casting director in the UK, Paul Russell, he's from the United Kingdom, he tried to launch a campaign talking about stop Twitter casting. There is the producers and directors and studios, they want to cast people, and they're pressuring the casting directors to say, hey, you need to pick somebody that's already very popular on Twitter, with the assumption is that if I cast this lead or cast this supporting actor or whatever that has a huge following, that would not only get their most bang for the buck, but also get more popular when these shows launch. And then when you saw those previous slides where I showed the big impact happening when you have active actors that's on Twitter. Okay. But, it is just a sign of the time. Just certain things you just cannot change. And you just have to adapt and overcome. Once this industry changes all the time. I know several years ago, before they had social media or before they had actors access to submitting online, you had to mail your headshots. Your talent agent had to physically mail a headshot to casting directors to submit yourself. Now you just submit all online. Before, to audition, you had to literally go into an audition room and cast in front of them. Now you can just go ahead and do a self-tape. You could literally audition in the comforts of your room and send in the tape. You don't even have to live in Hollywood or New York City to audition. You can just submit a tape. It's become that really simple. Again, like I said, times are changing. The digital revolution pushes youth talent agents to change their game. Here's an article from Variety magazine, a popular trade. Talent agents and casting directors, they are cruising on YouTube and Twitter and Vine and Facebook to find talent. Before that, I mean, it's really no different than how it was back in the days when casting directors used to go see plays, or they used to visit comedy clubs. You know, now the times have just changed. I mean, this scouting and looking for talent is still there. It's just the medium has changed. It's become more convenient to just go and look on social media. Because when you think about it, you have to have some kind of talent in order to have a lot of YouTube views. You got to have some type of talent in order to get a lot of followers on Twitter. You got to have some kind of talent to get a lot of views on Vine. It just doesn't happen overnight. You know, people just doesn't get famous just for no reason at all. There has to be a reason behind it. So, again, this is just another change in times. Last year, this was very controversial. Last year, during Southeast Southwest, it's a major convention with a lot of people in the entertainment industry. They came together, had a seminar with some of the top casting directors. Christian Kaplan, Joseph Middleton, Paul Weber, Randy Hiller from Disney. Now, and one of the things they had asked is, how do you cast talent? And one of the results came, if you can see the headline, casting directors, why acting ability may only account for 7% of why an actor lands the role. Okay? Meaning that I don't care how great of an actor you are. They don't care how long you've been studying or how good you nailed a particular role or audition. All that doesn't matter. It only matters 7%. The other 90-some% has to deal with your marketability. This is no different than before social media. People in the 80s or 90s, when casting directors or producers were book a A-list actor, it's because of their following. It's because of their name recognition. Those sell movie tickets at the box office. Now, here it is, 2016, the new social media revolution. Now there's actual numbers associated with an A-list actor. Okay, meaning that if you're an A-list actor and you're very good and you're active on social media, naturally you're going to have a large following. Naturally, it's going to be easier for you to post a marketing campaign. Okay, so that's what they're saying, is that they're going to look at you overall. Now, obviously, if you do like a small co-star role or maybe even a guest star, it's probably insignificant. But when we're looking at a series reoccurring, a principal role, or you're a big lead and they need help, they need your help to carry the movie, yeah, they're going to be looking at your following, your social media following, your name recognition. They're going to take all that into account when they cast you. Okay, here's another example that I found. There was a Q&A session, and Roger Bob of Bobcat Films, he's done a lot of those TV shows like House of Pain, Meet the Browns, all the Madea movies with Tyler Perry. And here's a question somebody asked: what role do you see social media playing in the production and promotion of film? And his answer was, did you know that I have actually been in meetings where actors have been cast based on the number of Twitter followers? I mean, it's just, I know good, skilled actors and actors that have been trained for many years get bothered by that. And it's understandable, because you feel as though that your talent is what's going to catapult you. Your talent is going to make you successful in this industry. Part of it is true. Okay? But at the end of the day, it's about dollars, money. Okay? Money. How much money are you going to make the film? Because everything that they do is an investment. And these studio exec producers, they're going to want a return on their investment. And it's the difference between somebody like Kevin Hart gets booked for a lead role versus John Leguizamo. John Leguizamo is an excellent actor. Kevin Hart is a decent actor. But because Kevin Hart has such a large following, he's going to get booked for a role that all they're cared about is just box office numbers. You know, or if there's a studio that's trying to get the awards, Oscars, Academy Award, they might hire John Leguizamo, you know. But like I said, it's all about the dollars, the marketability. How much money am I getting back in return? And it's just not even the big studios. Here's a small independent role show that I found on Actors Access. You know, they're looking for somebody that has a large internet presence. And this is just a small project. This is not even a big studio show. Okay? It's just a sign of the times. I'm showing you this photo of Blockbuster. Blockbuster is out of business. Why is Blockbuster out of business? Because nobody buys DVDs like that anymore. Nobody rents DVDs anymore because it's inconvenient. Okay? Blockbuster did not change and adapt to the industry. What happened? Netflix took over. Netflix made it easier. I mean, when Netflix first started, it was like $10 a month. Heck, it paid for itself off after like 3 or 4 rentals at the Blockbuster. Okay? Blockbuster was so behind in the industry. They did not change. And by the time they tried to enact and change, it was too late. Blockbuster is out of business. Don't be a Blockbuster in a Netflix world. We live in a Netflix world. Here's another example. Encyclopedia Britannica. Okay? You know, I'm in the age where I remember getting those books. I remember getting a whole set of encyclopedias from Britannica. But guess what? You didn't get all the sets all at one time because these were very expensive. At the time, I believe these were like almost like $2,000 something to get a whole set. So what they did is you had to make these monthly payments and you'll get like one or two books a month. And it'll take you 2 years before you had a whole set. Okay? So think about this. Encyclopedia Britannica. They're out of business. Why are they out of business? Because they did not adapt to the new world. What do we have now? We have the internet. I could literally get any information. As a matter of fact, the most updated information on, I don't know, like Wikipedia. You couldn't get that with Encyclopedia Britannica. The information was outdated by the time you got it. Okay? Here's an example. Here's some examples of actors getting booked from social media and in Twitter in particular. Here's a young actor. His name is Blake Cooper. He started, he's just a teen actor, and he's been training for a while locally here in one of the acting classes here in Atlanta. Well, there was a particular role in a movie called Maze Runner. Maze Runner is one of those like trilogy books like The Hunger Games, Divergent. It's very popular among the young teens. Well, anyways, there's a character in the book that Blake Cooper had really identified with. One of the fans of The Maze Runner had said, "Hey, Blake Cooper, you look like you could play the Chuck role in that movie, The Maze Runner." And he agreed. And then next thing you know, there was a huge campaign to convince the directors to give this guy a shot to audition because the book exactly described him to the T to say, hey, he can portray. Next thing you know, the hashtag started trending. He got an audition. Boom, he got booked. All because of social media. Now, one thing I wanted to explain is I wanted to point this case study out to you because he was not popular on Twitter, obviously, because he's not a wasn't a prior to Maze Runner, he wasn't a big star. He did smaller roles. He was trained, he did smaller roles. He wasn't popular. But because his campaign went viral, it helped him get cast. Okay? So that's some of the things that you can check. Okay, here's another example of another actress that got casted from Twitter. This is on a TV show called Talking Dead, and it's a show right after one of my favorite TV shows, The Walking Dead, and then they have like a little Q&A, and they kind of analyze what happened on the previous episode. Now listen closely as an actress named Alicia Witt describes how she got an opportunity to audition and eventually got cast, all from Twitter.
Who like going toe to toe with Carol?
Okay, so I first this whole thing came up because Scott Gimple started following me on Twitter randomly, and I was like, the showrunner of The Walking Dead. All right, that's pretty cool. And so we direct messaged a little bit, and then this audition came up. I didn't know what I was auditioning for. It was a bank robbery scene, nothing to do with the apocalypse. I found out I got the part and that I was going to have to get on the plane the next morning. I still had no idea who the character was, what I was doing. And I got the script as I was...
So as you can see, that because she was on Twitter, because she got a direct message by a showrunner from The Walking Dead, is the reason why she had an opportunity to get an audition, and that audition eventually ended up getting her cast in one of the most popular television shows in the history of all time. You see, powerful. This thing is so powerful. Twitter. It all came from Twitter. Alright, so now you understand the power of Twitter. You should be able to understand the possibilities of Twitter getting you booked, the understanding on how to follow a targeted audience, the understanding how Twitter is integrated within television shows. You understand why the studio execs want their actors to be on Twitter, and also why they even might want to book somebody that has a large Twitter following. So at this portion of the webinar, what I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to go over the user, the way you use it. This one is just the desktop version, and in the phone version, it's quite similar, but not exact. But all the options and all the tweets in the app itself is all in there, same as the desktop version. Okay, probably the first thing that you'll come across is your username or your handle. All right, this one is one that I manage on a regular basis as well. Now, when choosing a username, you want to keep something that's very simple. And the tip that I usually give people is, how will it come across if you're giving someone your Twitter handle over the radio or over the telephone? Will it be very confusing? Will there be some words that they wouldn't know how to spell correctly? Ideally, you want to have something that's short, easy to remember, and something that's very understandable over the radio, over the phone, where there will be a clear idea what the actual username is. Let's face it, so if you have a very complicated name, it's often misspelled, or it's often people often write thinking they got it, but when you look at it, say, no, you got my name wrong. Okay, so you want to pick a username that's very easy to remember and to copy if somebody has to write it down. What makes things more difficult is if you have, like, some people have like an underline, or some people have extra too long of a word. Like this name is my daughter's name, Asia Woolridge. Her last name our last name is always misspelled on a regular basis. So, and because it's a longer name, I chose to have something that's very easy to remember, which is Asia Model. That's very easy. Everybody knows how to spell model. Aja is can be misspelled, but it's real. It's only 3 letters, so I say AJA model. Boom, that's it. It's real easy to capture. And then plus another thing is you want to make sure that your username is matching across all the different platforms, such as Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Those are usually the top one, maybe even Pinterest. You want to make sure that the username that you pick on Twitter is the same username that you're going to use on all 3 platforms. Unfortunately, if you have a very common username or you have a very common name, you might see it taken up on one of the other social media network profiles versus the other. So you have to really take a good you have to do some good research on knowing that, making sure that it's available on all the networks, and then number 2, make some hard decisions on if it's not available on all 3. Should I use one and then tell others it's another one? The reason why I'm saying is that when you're looking at a program or you're having a business card, it's easy to say follow me at Asia Model, AJA Model. It's because all my networks is the same, whether it's Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook. At the end, it's always at Asia Model. Now it gets very confusing when you say, yeah, follow me at Asia Model on Twitter. On Instagram, I am underscore Asia Model underscore. I mean, it's multiple underscores. Or you get what I'm saying. It's very confusing. It just keeps it keeps it simple. When you're dealing with picking a username, the KISS principle always is the best idea to do when you're trying to pick the username. All right, and another thing is you want to get your name. Obviously, if it's your show name, your stage name, whatever, the key is having a regular first name and last name, not no cute nickname, or you want to you want to put in your name what you are, who you are, what do you represent. And I understand some people like to do that, but at the end of the day, you should be branding. What you're branding is your name. Your name is your brand, and what your name is should automatically represent. Other people should know your name because it's branded to already become an actor or a singer or a comedian or whatever your brand that you have established is. That's what your name recognition starts from. Okay. Now another thing is we're gonna go to. Let's go to the bio. Now, the way you have a bio, well, let's start from the top. Your profile picture or your avatar should match whatever the headshots that you have on, whether it's Actors Access or whatever the things that you do to submit to casting. It should match, meaning that your headshot is your logo. I know you probably heard this several times. That's your logo. Your face is your logo. What you don't want to do has multiple avatars where it gets very confusing. I mean, it's okay to change it, but when you do change it, you want to make sure that your profile pic is changed throughout all your networks. So there gives no confusion on what you look like on Facebook or what you look like on Twitter or what you look like on Instagram is different. If you keep it all consistent and congruent, it's going to help you establish your brand. Okay, it makes you more recognizable. All right, so make sure that you're keeping the same profile photo. Your bio. There's 2 things about your bio that you want to remember. And again, this is the same thing like your profile pic. You want to make sure your bio is consistent with all your platforms. Now, the way you do your bio, there's 2 things. What you do is you want to study all the other popular people's bios, and you'll notice that there's 2 things that you'll see. 1, it shows their personality. Number 2, it shows their content. The first sentence should always be your personality. What are you about? What are your hobbies? What makes you different and stands out? Some people like to be cute. They are a superhero in the daytime and an actor at night, or they'll say something like, I pretend to be somebody else on a regular basis. And then on the second sentence, it say, actor. I'm an actor, or something like that. Something like that is just, you want to have something that's kind of witty in the first sentence, which shows your personality, who you are, represent who you are, what kind of a person you are. And then second is, it should represent your content, meaning that what is your profession? What do you do? What are you good at? Are you a singer? Are you an actor? Or you're a comedian? Or whatever, entertainer? You're a dancer? Just keep that in mind. Okay, now I'm going to go back to your cover pic. Now, when you look at your cover pic, it should be an action photo, whether it's behind the scenes, a screenshot of something that you performed, or you with some, I don't know, some celebrities, or you're on the red carpet, because it shows that what it is it want to match this cover photo with what your bio is. So in this case, she's my daughter's a model, so she's on the runway. And then her bio says she's a model. And then now her cover pic shows as a model. Okay, it must be true. She's not faking it. Okay. Then I'm going to go back. You want to represent what city that you're in. I like to put the city and then I put the email address right there. You want to make sure that you're easily able to be contacted. You don't want people clicking too many times to where they're trying to find out how to get a hold of you. Don't do that. Make it very simple. Okay. Another thing you notice is that you want to use these hashtags. Keep the hashtags, because that helps you when you follow somebody. You'll notice that Twitter will say they'll suggest other people to that you should follow, and with these suggestions, you'll notice that they kind of match whatever that's listed in your hashtag on your bio, or they'll notice all the other people's that you follow. Okay. Now, also, that's another tip. You want to make sure you want to put your linking website. You want to put either your IMDb, your website, your homepage, maybe even another social media platform, Instagram or whatnot. Put that in the bio itself. The reason why I'm saying that is that when you follow somebody, that person, depending on how they put their settings, will get a notification on an email. And in that email, this will be linkable, meaning that they can read the email, say, Asia's followed you. This is her bio, and the bio has your website link, so they can click on it and boom, go to your website link. Okay, it's just another tip. Now this is another their website. Again, either your homepage. In this instance, I put the IMDb, and then you notice that this says the join date. Okay, so I'm just gonna scroll up. These are some of the photos. Now, this is another tip. Now, whatever you're representing, in this case, like I said, she's an actress. I pinned it. So on a weekly basis, you should pin your top tweet, and notably something that has additional information about you. So in this case, I put a picture. It's usually a picture that I have and a link to our IMDb. Okay. And to have more information about her. So you can pin that. You can only pin one tweet at a time. So and I try to change this on a regular basis just to keep the content fresh. Okay, so all these is your timeline. All these are your timeline. Well, actually, it's not your timeline. These are what you tweeted recently. Again, so you say who to follow, and you notice that these people are actors. See, actor, producer, actress. Remember, Twitter's very smart. You want your profile to be in here. This is how you get followers. Okay, and here is your tweet. See, in the last, your tweets earned 3,180 impressions over the last week. Amazing. See, all the tweets that I did, that means 3,180 eyeballs saw the tweets. 3,180 opportunities to get somebody to see you, and you never know. It could be a casting director, a talent agent, or a producer. You never know. Okay, just scrolling down. These are the trends. Yeah, whatever this trending topic. So right now, democracy, Good Friday, Batman versus Superman, Happy Easter, Rolling Stones, da-da-da-da. You'll see that. Now, these are some of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're tweeting. It increases your impressions, and that's more in the advanced stages that I talk about. Okay, this is a new thing. I haven't really dealt with it, but it talks about some of the latest trending topics and goes into some details of what's hot, basically what's hot on Twitter. Okay, now this is one of the important parts is your notifications and your mentions. These are who is tweeting with you. These are who are putting your username and your mentions. Okay, mentions is important because mentions means is someone is talking about you, or mentions also can be somebody that retweeted you, which is very important, obviously. Okay, and this is all part of having an engaging, increasing your engagement on Twitter. Okay, some people will have their Twitter automated, meaning that whatever they post on Facebook automatically posts on Twitter. Okay, but what they fail to do is look at their mentions. So if they see that they're not getting that many mentions, then they're not doing their good job of becoming more engaging. Or if they notice they don't have a lot of retweets, then they're not doing a good job getting a lot of engagement. Okay. All right. So as you can see, all right. So here, see, more engagement. These are how many people liked it. Some people like the tweets. Right. This is all engaged. Now, this is all within the last day. Well, 24 hours. Okay. And these are, like I said, again, these are opportunities to get followed. Okay. So overall, in a nutshell, this is the part of the Twitter dashboard. Okay. So this gives you a highlight of what you need to do. Okay, now this one I'm going to talk about your Twitter timeline. I have a love and hate feeling about the timeline, and I know one of the things about the Twitter timeline is it can be very inundated with a lot of spam and a lot of people that you should be unfollowing. But if you go on through some of my advanced net lessons, there's other tricks what you can do to avoid them to come up in your timeline. See, as you can see, the last 10 seconds that we talked, I got 14 new tweets. So if you got more followers, you can see how this thing can grow exponentially. Now, the difference between your Twitter timeline and your Facebook timeline, you don't see, if you have 5,000 friends, you're not going to see 5,000 different posts on a particular time. The way it flows, by the ones you miss to where it is, what time it is now. You're not going to see everybody's posts. What Twitter does is Twitter has this thing called EdgeRank, and they kind of figure out what the top Facebook postings that they think that you want to hear, you want to see, and they kind of cater that. That's why even though you have 5,000 friends, you're not going to get 5,000 likes. You're only going to get some of the people that have been actively liking your page or actively following you or actively interacting with you. And Facebook believes that, well, that's the person that you want to see. That's the person that we're going to show you the posting update statuses on your timeline. Now Twitter is different. Twitter goes by see I say 43. Twitter just goes by just regular time. So it's first come first see. Whatever you missed, you got to go back all the way to the top. See, the latest is 3 minutes, so this is the latest, and it just goes according to the latest times. Okay, so that's how Twitter is, and as you can see, it's a lot of stuff that I'm not very interested in it. I don't really care to see it. Some things I try to get rid of, but I don't want to unfollow them because if I unfollow them, chances are that I'm going to get unfollowed as well. And as you're a growing account, and if you're not a big name celebrity, you ain't got to follow everybody. But since I'm not, in this case, I'm not where I'm at, I have to continue to follow back people in order to increase my numbers, my followers. So the way to get around that is to see the tweets on people that I'm only interested in is called creating lists. So what you go is here, and you go to your list. So real quickly, let me explain to you what lists are. Lists are your followers, that people that you're following, and you're grouping them into certain categories. Okay, so I put like all the top child actors. I put those in this list. other actors. Casting and film, I put all the casting directors and showrunners or whoever that's in the industry, decision makers. I put them under this. PR and bloggers, films, other superstars, and then also you can actually even subscribe to other companies or other profiles lists as well. See, I'm following. I subscribed to Hollywood Mom Blog, PR companies, casting directors, so they have their own lists as well, and then vice versa. These other people can subscribe to these lists if I make it public. Okay, so let me go again an example. So right here, casting and film, which is a list that I made. I have 313 members. Okay, so these are all the people that I don't want to miss any tweets. I try to at least. Okay, so this is all my segmented list, and as you can see, you don't even have to follow them. Although I should be following them, but because they might not be, because the way the software that I use and they might not follow back, it unfollows them automatically. So I just still have them in my list. Okay, you can see now every time they tweet, these are the important people that I don't want to miss. As you can see, I got 5 people to subscribe. Okay, I can see their tweets, and I'm literally getting every tweet that they posted, and from here is where I can start with the engagement. I can like it, I can retweet, or I can reply. Okay, and basically that is how I segment my list, and that's how I never miss tweets from important people. So I come back here. Let me go back to another list. Alright, so here's another tip. Okay, so what I did is the top child actors. I'm still growing this list of people, and normally these are the people that are very popular. They already have a large following. Somebody like a Sky Jackson, they have a large following, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I can attract fans, because these people have real fans. Right now, most of my followers is people that are other child actors or other people that's in the acting and film industry. That's the bulk of my followers right there. Sure, there's going to be some fans and all, but that's one of the things that you have to do is once you become a named celebrity or a named actor, you're going to end up getting a lot of fans, and that's ideally that's what you want to do. And with that, you end up getting these check marks, meaning that these are verified Twitter users. Verified Twitter users means that these are, Twitter said, this is the real person and the real account holder. The reason why I'm saying that is because you'll see that like Beyonce or even the president or many actors, they'll have these parody accounts where they'll create a profile under this celebrity's name, Justin Bieber or whatever. These are like hardcore fans. They love them. They're fans of them so much that they created their own account in their name. Okay, so Twitter had to do is they had to put these little check marks to say, hey, you're actually talking to those actors. Okay, so then you'll know that I'm really talking to Cameron Davis, or I'm really talking to Max Charles. Now, when you come in here and you look, so you got 6.64 followers. Now, when you have 6 million followers, it's impossible to capture everything in your timeline and in your mentions. So what the verified Twitter does is it has a different backboard. They have a different mention and not used to. That's why it's really not a good idea to try to tweet. Like, you could try to tweet, but most of the times it's not going to show up in their notifications because they get inundated with so many tweets. They're only going to see tweets that maybe they even followed back with. But when it comes to like getting, trying to message, I'm not saying you can't, but I'm gonna show you how you can end up getting maybe even a retweet from, because ideally it'd be great if you can get this Cameron Dallas to retweet you to all their 6.6 million followers, and then how you can get more impressions and more people trying to follow you. Okay, now say for instance this photo. Okay, I'm gonna look at this photo. Let's view this tweet. As you can see, he just tweeted a picture of him. 20,000 retweets, 56,000 likes. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is let's just view. Okay, you see all these replies. Now look at all the replies and look how many likes. So this is the secret that I'm going to share with you, is you're going to get a big actor, a big celebrity that has a large following, and this is how you get noticed. Sure, you can retweet and you can like, but at the end of the day, replying is how you can get noticed, because he's not going to see all 19,000 retweets. He's not going to see all 55,000 likes. He's not going to view all this. But chances are he might be able to read the conversation that's under the tweets. And that's why I'm saying you want to reply. But because these people are smaller, they don't have big accounts, but yet they're getting a lot of likes. And what happens is people like me, they're looking at the conversations that's under the tweet, and they're liking that. It's just like on Facebook, when you're commenting under a post, an update, you're going to get more people looking at that, and they're going to like your comments. Same way you do in Twitter. Now, you might have something in here that he likes, because chances are you have a better chance of this guy Cameron reading the comments below. Most times they don't, because it's people can be very mean and negative on here, but you might have a good opportunity for them to retweet you, or he might see a comment you like and end up retweeting to all 6 million of his fans. Okay, so all you have to do is hit, well, it's already there, hit the reply, and what I could do is just add a GIF. And I'll just put and just like that, I'm under that tweet. Now, that's just been done yesterday. Ideally, if I replied at the first instance, that I might get more like this person retweet, liked. He's one of the first. I could tell 22 hours. He's like one of the first person to respond. Again, see, this is a parody account. No check mark, but he used the name and took his profile pic. And a lot of people follow. The reason why people do this is so they can get followers. And these 28,000 people follow this person thinking that this was the real Cameron Dallas. Okay, you never know. That's probably why people do parody accounts. Right? And that's how that works. Okay, so that's basically that's how you look at your Twitter dashboard, and how to create lists, and how to reply to big celebrities' tweets. All right, so let's review what we just discussed in this webinar. First, number one, we talked about why Twitter is important for actors. Okay, it's just, you can't not be a blockbuster in a Netflix world. Okay, times are changing. You need to get with the program. Okay, so very important. Number two, learn some interesting stats on active versus non-Twitter users during the marketing campaigns. Remember, you recall what's the difference when a trailer premieres, what a movie premieres, and then what happens after the movie is launched. There's several discussions about the movies, and all that has a definite huge increase when you have active Twitter users during those marketing campaigns. Number three, we learned about a couple of case studies on how actors got booked from Twitter. Remember Blake Cooper, how he was able to get support from many followers, and his campaign to get an audition for a particular role went viral. And because of that, he was allowed to get a audition in which he eventually booked. Second one was about Alicia Witt. She's somewhat of a well-known actress, that's been on several different shows. She got a direct message from a showrunner, producer from The Walking Dead, and got an audition. And next thing you know, she got booked as well. Okay, so 2 different case studies, got several more. Then we also talked about the Twitter dashboard. We learned about where to tweet. We learned about how to favorite, how to reply, how to like. We understand the timeline, and the various places where your username, your bio. We learned about how changing different background and your profile pics. All that being that you want to ensure that it's all congruent. Their bios have the same messages throughout your social networks. Number 5, we talked about how to create a targeted Twitter list. We get a list of some of the directors and casting directors, and we put them all together and put them into one list. Okay, so if you like all that and you want to learn more, because I got tons and tons and tons of content just on Twitter alone, I want you to go ahead and take a visit at TWOOL9.com/Twitter. Go ahead and type that into your browser bar right now. Visit the site, and I want you to join today. Become a member. Sneak peek of the members area once you join. Alright, so here's a preview of what's in the members area of the Get Booked Twitter Domination for Actors, Singers, and Entertainers. And I'm scrolling down here and going this fairly fast. You can see that there's going to be 7 sections with 33 lessons total. And each of the lessons I'm going to break down and go into strict detail of exactly what it is on that particular lesson. Like for example, here's creating a username, and when I click on it, it is going to be a video, and in this video there is exactly 7 minutes and 53 seconds that I'm going to talk about strictly on choosing your username. And right here gives you a brief summary. Now you're able to download it anytime you want to. You can download the audio, or you can just download the videos. You can write notes, and the notes will be private. You could even, let me show you something that's really good, because if you seen the video and it's like your second time watching, and if you see me go through the steps, you can actually even speed up, where it can go twice the speed.
Another thing I want to iterate
See, it's like speeds up the whole.
Notifying, meaning how many people are using your.
I can go to normal speed, or I can go at slower speed if the and mainly those are for if I'm doing like a step-by-step introduction, and you want to see a particular lesson, and I'm showing you like my over my shoulder method, and you want to go a little bit faster, you can either go faster, normal, or slower, which is pretty cool. And then one thing that I really like is that it actually bookmarks. So if I stop at 1 minute and 36 seconds, it's going to remember that I went on that lesson at. So if I have to go back to it. Alright, so when and in total of all the lessons put together, there's over 4 hours worth of content. 4 hours of jam-packed information ready to use, and for you to get everything you need to learn about Twitter. It's all in here in this program. Okay, so that is the back end area access of Twitter domination for actors, singers, and entertainers. Let me give you some benefits of becoming a member. Number one, I have new lessons every month. I talk about Facebook, Instagram, branding and marketing. Also, even have various self-improvement courses that's in the members area. You get all that every month. Number two, we have free monthly conference calls and webinars for our members. We talk about anything. Some of y'all will send me questions, and then I answer the questions during the conference calls or even doing it in the webinars. It's very, very jam-packed full of information as well. Number three, we have a private Facebook group just for members only. This is when you can help each other and interact and share your own personal experience with others, and others will share with you. We kind of have a good group team mentality, and we try to help each other and both succeed. Number four, 50% off additional services. Like I said, I am a webmaster and a marketing professional. Has been doing this for almost 20 years now. I have 50% off website, press kits, any public relations, graphics. For example, I even from time to time offer free websites to many of our members. So imagine getting a professionally website for absolutely free. Press kits, electronic press kits, all the things that you can help promote, whether your project or even yourself. Number five, support. You're going to get tons of support from me. I have different methods. You can email me, you can call me, you can post on a Facebook group. I'm always there to help. Okay, I'm gonna share with you everything I know to help you improve on becoming more integral into this industry. Number six, again, any questions, just feel free to email me at thomas@relamark.com. Okay, so go ahead and type in your browser twool9.com/Twitter, type that in, and you should be directed to our shopping cart. So I want you to go ahead and submit your information, and I'll see you on the other side.